Okay, so this is part 3 of my UCI World Tour Manufacturer Best of 2017, and if you saw part 1 and part 2 you'll know how I got to these top 7 manufacturers, so you can go back and look at those if you haven't seen them. And in this video, part 3, I'm looking at lightweight bikes or all-round bikes, whatever you want to call them really. These probably get ridden the most in the peloton as they go up and down hills and ride along the flat pretty quick. So let's get started. The first thing I did, like I did for the aero bikes, was I had a quick look at Google Trends, typed in the name of each bike and the manufacturer just to see what showed up really. And what shows up is they've been around for a lot longer than the aero bikes, obviously. Again, you get these spikes in around July time when the Tour de France is on. Of this group here, because you can only put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can only put 5 into a Google Trends search. Specialized is way on top obviously with their Tarmac, but then if you add in the TCR from Giant, that's even bigger and was around before the Tarmac by the looks of things. Anyway, so that's looking at the Google Trends. So straight on to the Sworks Tarmac Ultralight. Very nice looking bike. Can't find a weight for this bike, so there's the irony. Sworks Tarmac Ultralight, and I've got no idea how light, which is annoying. I'm very much digging the white walls on these S-Works bikes. Very lovely. All the normal good gear. Very sexy looking bike, I think. Is there a disc version? No. On the website I couldn't find a disc version, so don't know whether they're bringing one out later on or whether they've decided not to bother. I don't know. We'll see. So that's the Tarmac. Very sexy bike. Just a thing of note is the big difference from the... So this is the SL6, I think. The SL5. The big difference is the seat stays further down, which supposedly makes it more comfortable. And this is quite a this is becoming quite a thing now. A lot of bikes with that dropped seat stay. Okay, so next on the list was BMC, and we talked about this bike in part 2 for the aero bikes, because I think for BMC it's basically this bike is in both categories. It's basically just a very good all-round, very aerodynamic bike, I guess. This is the disc version of the Teammachine SLR01. Pretty pricey, 10 grand. Forgot to say, yeah, Tarmac's 9 grand. So this is a grand more than the Tarmac. It's obviously got the drop seat stays as well, but pretty much the same equipment, other than it's a disc version. Is there a rim brake version? Yes, but it's got different cockpit, and obviously there's got exposed cables and different wheels. So there's a definite choice there. Personally, I would go for that one if I was going to get the Teammachine. Good looking bike, I like that. Next up was PINARELLO, and again we did this in the aero bike category as well. Chris Froome just rode this for everything in the Tour and won it, so it must be a pretty good bike. What annoys me about this photograph is the angle of the cranks. Most photographs, they either angle it with the chainstay or some of them angle it with the seat tube, but PINARELLO, it seems to be kind of random unless it's aligned to that, but who knows. So that I find a bit annoying. Slightly cheaper than the Teammachine aero bar. Yes, there's a disc brake version. Nice colour scheme. But I talked about the PINARELLO in part 2, so go back and have a look at that if you want to see more about that. Then we've got the Scot Addict RC Ultimate Disc. This has got the E-tap on it, as you probably know, gets the thumbs up from me. I definitely prefer these disc brakes that aren't the big fat black ones, these ones. So I'm guessing that these are the SRAM ones. I should go and check that on the website really. But I definitely prefer the sort of more see-through look to those. And like I said, it's E-tap, looks like an aero bar. PT Swiss wheels. Is there a rim brake version? Yes. Fairly similar. Cockpit's a bit different, not as aero. Handlebars are very different. They come back quite a long way. And this is Dura-Ace Di2. So out of those two, definitely prefer the disc brake myself with the E-tap and the very slightly deeper section wheels. That'd be my choice. However, the rim brake version is 6.3 kilograms and that's 6.7, so both very light bikes. So moving on, Canyon. Now the first bike from Canyon I wanted to show you was the Ultimate CF Evo 10.0 LTD. Wow, what a bike, and wow, what a price. So this is the absolute top of the ultimate range for people who really have got way too much money. It's not even UCI legal. To be UCI legal it would have to be 6.8 kilograms. So this is crazy light. It's got E-tap on it, and it's got this crazy crankset called the Clavicular, which is all carbon fibre and very light. So this bike is incredibly light. You've got the aero bars there, and the other thing of note are these lightweight wheels. These wheels cost £4,748 on their own and weigh in at 1100 grams. So they're super light. So there we go, that's the Evo, which none of us can afford. There's probably actually not many of us who can afford this one, but this is the next sort of top of the range. So not crazy Evo prices, but sort of top of the range ultimate. And this is like the aero version of it, even though there's the Aero Road, Canyon Aero Road. This is the aero version of the ultimate, which is a disc version. E-tap again, very nice looking bike. Aero handlebars, it's got the Zip 404s on it, and it weighs 7.1 kilograms, which for a disc bike is pretty good. So like in that, we've got a rim brake version, the Ultimate CF SLX 9.0 Di2. And this is lighter than the disc, so it's 6.7 kilograms, and it's a bit cheaper. So if you want to save a few quid, you get this one. It's still Di2 Dura-Race. You got the Cosmic wheels, Mavic Cosmic wheels. This is a solid bike. Can't really go wrong with that. That'll do everything that you ask it to do. On the road, goodbye, I would say. Next up, Giant TCR. This is the SL1, so not an SL0. So it's actually one down the range, but there isn't a top of the range TCR with discs on it. No weights, as ever. Still a lovely bike, but it is Ultegra, so not Di2. I guess these discs have got these sort of inserts in for keeping the temperatures down, but they don't look as good, do they? They don't look as good as the SRAM discs, which are much more light and see-through. I definitely prefer the SRAM ones to look at, not ridden with either. It's got Giant's wheels on, climbing wheels, still a solid bike like that. Right, so this is the SL0 E-tap, and that is quite a bit more money, and this is one of the top of the range TCRs, very nice bike. And then you can also get the Dura-Ace version, Di2, so it's basically the same bike except with Di2. Again, I think I would definitely go SRAM. Even the brakes look smaller and lighter, even the rim brakes. So that's the TCR. Then we've got the last, or the 7th manufacturer, Ridley, with their Helium bike. So this is their lightweight climbing all-rounder. Yep, it looks okay. It's not really getting me particularly excited. One of the big things I think about Ridley is their photos look a bit soft and a bit like they've got no punch. So I did a little bit of Photoshop on it, and I think that looks better. Just gives it a bit more punch. Also on the Ridley website, I can only find Ultegra Di2. I can't find any Dura-Race or E-tap. Could be the top of their range, but there might be one higher up, but I can't find the price or the weight for it anyway, so who knows. Not keen on the Fulcrum aluminium wheels. They look cheap to me. I like the rotor crankset. So not much to say about that one really. Anyway, that's the lightweight bike category. If I had to buy one, if I happen to have a whole shed load of money, I think this is your best value for money, this one here. 5899, under 7 kilos. That's a proper good bike for that money. But if I could have any of these bikes that I wanted, yeah, I think it would be the Sworks Tarmac Ultralight. I'm starting to realise I'm a bit of an Sworks fanboy, because I went for the Sworks on the Aero video as well, part 2. So there we go. If I had 9 grand and didn't need to feed my kids, that's the one I would get. If I had that type of money, a bit less, I'd get that one. As it is, I can't afford either of these bikes, so we'll never know. Anyway, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will start making the part 4, which is about the time trial bikes from these manufacturers.